Hi, this is Sebastian, and my game recommendation for this month is JazzPunk. Um, so we're kind of approaching the recommendations, sort of like a book club. So over the next month, we'll all be playing JazzPunk, and by the end of the month, we'll put out a podcast talking about it. And and then we'll. God, no, no.
It's closed. My pie is done. My game is saved. I'm ready.
I hate to do the second intro, but welcome to the Garbage Cast. We got to introduce ourselves. That's the reason.
Keenan's here.
Yeah, I'm here with Keenan, Kevin,
Here I am.
Sebastian Daramat,
Hi.
and Josh Davis.
Hi.
And I'm David Conover.
Here we are. We're ready to rock. We're ready to game.
All right.
Live
So
on air. This is
earlier,
live, actually.
we cut off the conversation because we weren't recording yet, but we were already talking about games. But Seabass was saying he was interested in the new little game.
Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS4 and Xbox One, coming soon to PC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then you should
in
just get
Jan.
it.
That's when
Is
it's
not
gonna.
Mac.
Is it not coming to Mac?
Definitely not.
I think
Really?
it might. I don't know.
There's no way it would come to Mac. GTA 4 never came to Mac.
I don't think so.
The thing about
I don't think it'll
GTA
come to Mac.
is that GTA
also
4 was
run-
games for Windows Live though, and then GTA 5 is going to be Steam. So it's more likely probably not going to
Have you
happen.
thought about partitioning?
I think that's what you should
I
do.
don't think it's worth it. My computer isn't fast enough to play games really.
It is though. I don't know.
I mean, the kind of games like
That's possible.
I mean, I wouldn't be like that's just not worth it. I guess.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what people do mods wise.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about
Dude, I bet they'll add a first-person mode.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
they have one of those in GTA 4, but it was pretty bad.
I mean, so what I was talking about earlier, just the first person mode in GTA 5, seriously seems like enough to make that game worth it.
It does seem really cool.
I mean, they did a really good job with that,
Yeah.
and like, it just like changes the way you can experience that city because like there's so much detail in it.
Yeah.
But when you're in third person, the camera's far away, and you're just
Yeah.
running, you don't notice half of it.
Totally.
And also, since like with the new hardware, like the textures are so much better.
Well, yeah, I was listening to, I don't even remember what podcast it was, but they were saying like they redid all the textures or something.
That's pretty serious.
Like they really rebuilt this game, which sounds.
I mean, and like another part of it is like the first person mode seems interesting because I think a big part of GTA it's like people like to go on like rampages and just kill everyone. I would like from what I've seen, that stuff is not seems so much more disturbing in first person
Yeah.
because you like I didn't never realize when you shoot someone like
They
mean-
die.
yeah I didn't know that
They die.
but like part of it is like like with the physics engine they have like someone gets shot in the leg they'll like stumble or like you see a little bit of reactions from getting shot but like you don't see the facial expressions. It looks disturbing.
Oh man.
I saw a video of a guy stabbing this woman in first person in that game. Not funny.
Is there new
Very funny in third person.
They say there's like all new animations or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
what do you, like? Oh wait, for NPCs and stuff. You mean, or
And for everything.
they said there is?
For the characters, I thought.
Are there?
Oh,
You tell me.
I don't know. I didn't know that. I mean, I don't really look into it
Tell
that
us,
much.
Rockstar.
I saw that they have some new collectibles in the game.
Oh,
You can do peyote in the game now,
You can
that's
do
fun.
it?
and when you do peyote, your character turns into an animal. And there's like 30 playable animals.
Wow.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
sounds fun.
The one I saw was
know.
a chicken, and to get the peyote that you eat to turn into a chicken is on the top of a mountain. So this guy just ended up falling off the mountain as a chicken. And once you die,
Angry chicken.
your character comes back into a human.
Wow.
I hope that Vice writes another article about the portrayal of drugs in video games after that.
Did they?
Yeah, there's this horribly annoying article about drugs in video games, and Vice is just really cool, you know?
They just love drugs.
They are really standing up for how good drugs can be and how dumb society is, you know, for always portraying it in these ways that are supposed to scare us or make us think it's stupid or make us think it's funny. But Vice is standing up for the good fight, and I'm really happy that they are.
People
So
need to
everybody-
realize cocaine is cool.
And you can use it sometimes casually and nothing bad will happen to you. Everybody go read Vice's article, Drugs in Video Games. It's really insightful.
Everybody go put your face in a vice and read some Vice articles.
Because that's the only way you're going to be able to make it through 'em.
See, really quickly, if we're gonna talk about Vice, like
Go ahead.
I just have such like I really genuinely like 50% of the content put out by
I
Vice,
agree.
and then I absolutely hate the other 50%.
Yeah.
Which sucks because there's like they're just completely invalidating everything they do that's right by posting like they'll post it like an article that's like really interesting about something that I feel like isn't being written about, and then the next article will be like, I got drunk off snorting powdered alcohol. That was an article I read. It's literally, it was just this guy talking about him snorting powdered. He said he had a Ziploc container full of powdered alcohol,
Oh man.
and it was just making his nose
guy likes
bleed
to
all
party.
night. And that was the worst article. But anyway, GTA 5.
I'm very excited for that game to finally to reach its true potential when it's actually released on PC.
Except for heist mode, because that'll be the true potential.
Yeah,
when
that'll
they get
come out as-
online heist
I
mode.
mean, those will come out after the PC version comes out. So, I mean, they'll be on there. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, even the fact that GTA 4 is like a nightmarishly bad port on PC, but it still like looks better than the Xbox version. And the modding, like
then
that,
they modded it and made it cool.
yeah, and I mean the modding in that game, like the modding tools, don't exist. But people have still put like crazy, like the Iron Man mod where you can just fly around in the Iron Man suit. And I mean, if they support like Steam Workshop or something like that, then they can just make this game will just be like
The
next level
ultimate.
good. It'll just be like the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the new Skyrim of, well, it's like an
Skyrim mode.
what?
Is that what
Oh,
you
and
said?
they'll do a Skyrim mode.
Oh, yeah.
Skyrim mod for GTA 5. It just imports the game data from Skyrim. So it's all the characters, missions, attacks, everything, but it's set in
All the
GTA
characters
world.
you know and love from Skyrim, like
So you can be,
Shopkeep.
yeah, you can be hanging out with.
What's that guy that walks around Skyrim saying like, "Oh, do you hang around the rich district?" Of course you don't. I like that guy.
You can be hanging out with barmaid number 2, and you'll go to Franklin's house and you can smoke weed with her, and then jump in the car with Franklin's dog and her.
My favorite thing about
Except it's gonna be a dragon instead of a dog. It's it's just gonna clip through the car.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay,
And it'll be not a car. It'll be
A
a
horse.
yeah. The dragon will ride the horse with you.
Coming soon to PC.
I mean, the fact that GTA 5 was re-released, like, I'm watching videos and seeing people get excited about that game again has just made me really, like, remember how much I liked that game originally. Like, especially just how much I liked that world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm kind of upset they're triple dipping on the hype. They they hyped
Because
it up
PC
the
is
first time.
separate.
Yeah, I mean the PC version was supposed to come out with the next gen console ones, but they pushed it back, and I think it was only to triple dip on hype, and possibly have people triple dip on purchases.
Well, hey, guess what? The Last of Us is coming out with a PS3 collection,
What
a
does
sort
that
of
mean?
Game of the Year collection for PS3. That seems horrible.
They're
Collection?
re-releasing for PS3.
Triple
Yes.
dip.
I mean,
That
people do Game of the Years of a lot of games.
And I'm assuming
Is
it's going to
it-
be cheaper, right?
Does that just mean it's cheaper with the DLC?
yeah, it just comes with the DLC.
I mean,
I mean,
that's
that
like
makes sense then.
they've been doing that since like PlayStation 1. It's like greatest hits or like
I know, but I just wish they did it with PS4. And I know that not everyone has a PS4 or whatever, but like, I don't know. It seems like weird timing wise.
that it's coming out at the same time.
It is a little strange.
That's
timing-wise.
coming out after the HD remaster that also has the DLC in it on the PS4.
I mean, they should have had it come out at the same time.
It's like they have the definitive edition, and then this is like
almost definitive edition.
yeah, like the special, like the original special edition or something.
It seemed pretty weird to me, like, now you mentioned The Last of Us, like, I think the two games that are out for PS4 and Xbox One, or I guess PS4 that I really want to play are all games that were on PS3, which is like The Last of Us remastered
Yeah.
and then GTA 5.
Yeah.
Totally.
There's nothing that's really been
Is there
looked very good.
impressive looking footage of Last of Us Remastered? Have you
It's
watched
it,
any?
it looks better. It's like full HD. And it's
I'm
60
sure you can find
frames.
stuff even just on YouTube now that
I
they
mean,
have the 60 frames option.
It's not full HD though.
It's not.
It's like 900p.
Really?
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think very few PS4 games are full 1080. Most of them are like 900p or like, yeah, most of them are 900 or so.
I've seen a few that have been advertised as 1080, which I
Yeah.
hope. I mean,
I heard that James Bond was P99.
James Pond?
Super James Pond.
yeah.
I think, do they usually, like, it seems like all these next gen games, they're not advertising them as 1080p. They're advertising them as full HD, which is sort of like a buzzword way of doing it.
Definitely.
Like the Master Chief Collection is 900p.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I mean,
I hope
almost.
that comes to PC.
Assassin's Creed Unity is also like 900p.
There's certain things where like if you look at the back of an Xbox 360 game, it will say 1080p even if it's not natively.
Yeah,
running at
like
1080p.
it'll upscale, which obviously doesn't count.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this generation is interesting to me, like this console generation, because I keep thinking that it's too soon for these consoles to come out, or I mean, for them to have come out, but the last ones came out like 8 years ago or 7 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
it's obviously time.
And I feel pretty differently about resolution when it comes to a console game because I'm like if I'm sitting pretty far from a TV,
That's true.
the difference between 900p or whatever and 1080p is so like 720p to me looks bad on my computer
Yeah.
because I'm close. I can really tell. 720p does not look bad to me on a TV.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, I think a big part of it, I like PC gaming for certain reasons, but I think I prefer console gaming just because like there's peace of mind with it, where it's like I accept the game for what it is, not like oh man, my computer could be faster, this could look better,
That's true.
or like this could run better if I turn the graphic settings down, but it could look better and I can run it. Like, I don't know, just like
Yeah.
I don't like having that control. Really,
That's
I prefer to
interesting.
just like not be thinking about
Yeah.
the hardware at all
Yeah.
when I'm playing a game.
I get that, but then I had the moment this year when I built my PC where I got Dark Souls 2 on PS3, and I thought to myself, this could run better if I played it on my PC, and I bought it on PC as well.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
like, even if you have to turn the graphic settings down on the PC, it still looks better most of the time.
Yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
mean-
especially on last gen consoles, like stuff like BioShock, like the equivalent would be like their graphics are on low for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to talk about like console and PC. I don't want to talk about that.
I don't think that that's been talked about that much. I think we could
Not between
really
us.
be on the
Oh yeah.
forefront of it.
I think we could also talk about movie adaptations of games.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the thing I was
That's- I
wanting
don't
to
think
talk
that's been
about
ever talked
earlier,
about.
like the heist mode in the online that hasn't came out in GTA 5. We should talk about how mad we are about that for a while.
But first, I'd really like to talk about how bad Superman 64 and Aquaman are.
Those
E.T.
games-
for
Those, yeah,
Oh,
a bunch
yeah,
of
ET.
a bunch
There we
of there's some really bad games, but nobody ever talks about them. I don't know why. There's no like YouTube channels.
We should talk about Food Fight too in the room.
Are there any really about bad games? Are there any games that are just critically, like, were just like received horribly that you enjoy quite a bit?
I'm trying to
That's a
think.
good question.
I think yes. I can't tell though. I'm trying to think.
How was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle received? Because I love
Poorly,
that game.
I think. And
I
I
mean,
didn't like that.
Josh
game.
and I tried playing that game. It's bad.
Oh my god.
So us as critics
Don't say
give it a
that.
thumbs down.
Don't say
Bad.
that.
I mean, the game didn't make sense. The penalties were like, he would just make my guy not be able to do anything for 20 seconds. 20 seconds is so long.
Okay, so there's this game. I don't know how you say this word. It's like the word alchemy, but it's like alchemic. Alchemic. Robot Alchemic Drive that was for PlayStation 2. And this game is one of those games that time just completely forgot. But it was it was a mech game. However, you played from the perspective of a person controlling the mech with a
Sounds
remote control. And it just had, like, better than any other game for its time by far, had, like, the feeling of being huge in a city. Like, you walked around and destroyed everything, and you could, like, you were this little guy. Like, you saw the robot from your perspective. And, like, that was part of the strategy of the game is, like, you maybe have to, like, get on top of a building so that you can see, or, you know, just put yourself in the right place that you can see, but you would fight with these giant robots. And it was just cool because then you had like 2 different types of gameplay because you're just running around the city and you're also playing as a giant robot. It was really, really cool.
That sounds really fun.
And I've never heard anyone talk about that game or write about that game or anything.
I wonder what review scores were at the time.
Just now I
Obviously-
looked and it's a 4 out of 5 on Metacritic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. So,
So it's, but I mean, a game that time forgot, regardless.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a game that I think is good that was definitely critically poorly received is Azaric for the original Xbox.
Oh,
I don't think I've
You guys remember that game?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I remember that.
Josh, could you look up the Metacritic?
Sure. What is it called?
Azuric, Azurik, I think.
Yeah.
2 games I
I
can
remember.
think
Is
of.
he blue?
Yeah, and
Yeah, I remember that game.
the game was a 3D action game.
IGN gave it a 3.
Out of 10, right? They always do out of 10,
Yeah.
right?
3 out of
Wait,
10.
It's 3. I don't know. It's out of 5.
And you were this blue guy with
6.5 out of 10.
Okay, so definitely not well received.
but
Wow, this guy looks horrible.
oh yeah, like
He looks like an avatar.
if I remember,
He looks
anything
like
from
a
this-
spiky-haired avatar.
Man.
There's just like, I thought the weapon you had in that game was cool, and I was, younger when I was just like, whoa, that guy has a cool thing, like a cool spear thing. But like, I don't think I can remember anything else except for like there was like his spear could take on different like elemental attributes.
Like a keyblade.
No,
Yeah, like a keyblade.
I don't think that's the way keyblades work.
Yeah, it is.
Thunder keyblade.
Yeah, you get a different keyblade.
You
Yeah,
know,
but that's
Lion
more
King
that's more like
keyblade.
As
I'm
different
not sure. I'm not sure
boosts.
Lion King is an element.
I think it's one
but
of the 4
I mean,
elements. Yeah.
then you're like boosted stats.
Earth, Wind, Water, Lion.
You get like the boosted roar stat. when you
But these
use the
aren't
Lion
boosted
King.
stats. It's just different.
So it's more like vigors and BioShock,
It's more like
Earth, Wind, Water, Lion King.
or maybe like spells in Harry Potter.
yeah, or
Wingardium.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like
Lumos.
Pokemon. You would use like
Terms I understand.
yeah, you'd use electricity against water.
Uh-huh.
Super effective.
You'd use electricity spear against waterfish, and it'd be good. But
Yeet.
I remember that game also, like, even at the time when I couldn't really evaluate games very well, and I was just playing whatever was around. I do remember that game being extremely boring. Like, the world was just
Really?
not filled with a lot of anything.
Oh.
But I was also, I'm not sure when Metroid Prime came out, but I was playing a lot of Metroid games during that time too. And so I was used to sort of like,
Nothing.
well, yeah, open spaces, except for like, obviously Metroid does it way better because like it actually has atmosphere, where this was more just like,
There's nothing.
yeah, it was just like the equivalent of like a beige room.
Well,
I was looking at a couple screenshots of this game, and I just want to flash them by you, David, because I think you'll think it's cool. It's just that robot game.
Oh, anime
It's
inspired.
anime style.
Yeah,
anime
oh,
style.
sorry. I went.
Opa anime style, dude.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I know.
I wish you guys.
It reminds
One
me
game
of
I was
Robotech for.
We should play it on an emulator or something.
That would be great.
Yeah, we'll do a let's play of it soon.
Yeah.
Soon, everybody, because we want you to see this game that Josh grew up with.
One game that I thought for some reason was not received very well that I liked a lot, but apparently got a 9.1 on IGN.
But apparently was, like,
Game of the year.
was amazing by IGN.
I mean, Time Splitters 2.
TimeSplitters 2 was
yeah.
great.
Okay,
That is a great
I used
game.
to feel like
Yeah,
no
people
one-
don't talk
I feel
about
like
it
no one talks
anymore.
about that game.
I think
Yeah,
actually, what I was gonna say is everybody talks about that game still.
Really?
Yeah, on like Reddit and 4chan. People,
Yeah, I guess I don't
People
seek that
rave
stuff
about
out.
that game all the time. That's true.
That game was really like I always remember like playing that a lot growing up, and then but I remember like only one of my friends had that game. No one I knew had it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know it existed.
Was
when
it
I
for
a kid?
GameCube.
Okay.
Oh, I have a good story about TimeSplitters 2. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but on the PS2 one, you could play online, right?
I think so. I don't know.
So,
That
never
makes
played
sense.
like, I wasn't really allowed to do, like, any online gaming back then. Like, my parents were very, suspicious of all the strangers I could be interacting with. But I always liked the idea of playing online and all this stuff. And so I had this friend come over, and I convinced him that I convinced him, but I was also convincing myself that the bots we were playing in multiplayer were other people online.
Nice, dude.
I was in, elementary school,
Yeah.
but like,
I understand completely.
yeah, and it was a great time. And like, it's funny just because all the usernames for the bots would just be the character names. Like, it's not like
yeah.
they're, I don't know, but we were dumb.
Sounds great. Every once in a while, me and my Dota bros, the Walnut Boys, we play bot matches. Like usually when we're waiting for something or whatever, and all the bots have names like Monty Bot, Walter Bot, Kitty Bot. They have like human name bots, and we like to give them personalities, or like. One of them will like get a kill, and I'll be like, "Man, Walter Bot is on today." And like,
That's awesome.
Monty Bot's having a tough day, and I think one day like Aubrey and Max started a bot game without me because they were waiting for me, and then I joined in. Like we were all talking like on Skype, and then I joined in the bot game as a spectator, and they're like, "Oh, we can quit this and play with you." And I was like, "Oh no, I'll just cast it. I'll just watch it." And I pretended like it was like a professional game. And so I was like, and Monty Bot's going down the middle. He's getting kills left and right. Like, and that was a really fun experience because
Yeah, I bet that's actually like a decent way, especially like when you're with your friends, to actually you've expressed some interest in like doing some low level commentary.
yeah, that's true too. And the most fun part of those situations though is that if you're spectating the game like in client, you're on like a 3-minute delay. So I would talk about things that happened 3 minutes ago for them. And that was always fun. Some games that I really liked that I also thought were critically panned, but were actually critically acclaimed.
Oh my gosh. So
That
this
are-
is what the true question was. What did you think was received bad but was received well?
Yeah.
2 games. But one of them totally forgotten, one of them less so. The one that was less forgotten that I just thought was bad but people liked anyway, but was actually definitely good, was War of the Monsters on PS2.
Yeah, that game's really cool.
I don't think I know that
What
game.
you play as generic big guys, big monsters, a la Godzilla and
Is it sort of
King
like
Kong.
Rampage?
Sort of. What it is, it's a fighting.
It's third person
It's a-
3D though.
It's an open world fighting game. Not open world, but the levels are huge and you can go
Yeah.
anywhere in them. So you can totally lose the guy. But it's just like like there's like a story mode, but it's, obviously most fun to play like split screen, and so like I'm the giant mantis monster, and I'm just a giant praying mantis, and my friend is like Killbot 6000 or whatever, and he's just he's a massive robot, and then you're in like fake Los Angeles,
Yeah.
but fake Las Vegas was like my
Yeah.
favorite level because it had like all the hotels, and like there was like a pirate ship one, so you could like take a piece off of that and beat them
Yeah,
with
there
it.
was also really cool big weapons like that.
Yeah,
like,
and the best weapon in that game was there was like a King Arthur hotel, and so you could take the
Yeah,
sword
yeah.
and you could cut people up with the sword. And that game was great, and I remember loving it. There was obviously the reason I thought it was like critically panned because it sort of played a little weird, but it was such a good idea and it was so fun. that I
People
think
actually really
it
liked that
anyway.
game. I remember because it was a first party game, I think.
Yeah, I mean it was,
And
it
like
was
the magazines at the time were very into it.
yeah. I think the main reason though that I thought that people didn't like it is because it never got a sequel, and it deserves one
Yeah.
for sure.
That would be another game we should emulate and play together.
For sure. That
We
game
should-
is amazing.
Does either of you guys have a PS2 emulator?
Yeah, I
Both
have
of
one
us
too.
do.
Yeah.
What's it
So,
called again?
War of the Monsters. Great title too. Like, I mean, it's exactly what it is.
And it looks like an old movie poster. The cover does,
Yeah.
and like,
So that game is great.
So it's
Another
pretty
game.
self-aware. It's pretty like
yeah,
Yeah.
meant to be campy.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Another game that I thought people didn't like was an Xbox 360 game called Earth Defense Force 2017. And I think, like, I was sure this game.
Wait. What was it for?
Xbox. I think it was probably on PlayStation 3 too. But there's EDF 2017 and then 2025.
Yeah, that sounds so familiar.
There's more of them, but so it's this game where you play as like you're a member of the Earth Defense Force.
Sorry, I was thinking of
Destroy all monsters.
Yeah.
I think it's called
Humans.
Earth Special Forces or something, and I think it's a Half-Life mod where you play as
Oh yeah.
DBZ characters. Have you played that?
Heard of that?
Oh, that sounds good.
It's amazing because every time you'll do a transformation to like Super Saiyan or like Super Saiyan 2, and they just take the audio from the show and put it in. So some of the transformations are like 5 minutes long, and everyone just has to wait for you to be done transforming before they attack you again.
That's so crazy.
It's amazing. Okay, but what were you saying about?
That
That's
sounds
funny.
fun. Earth Defense Force 2017 was an Xbox game, really, really early Xbox 360 game, like first year, second year maybe. But what it was you're a member of the Earth Defense Force. It's a Japanese game, very Japanese, but you're in Japan, and like you just walk. It's a third-person shooter with like a very far away camera, which is kind of weird. But what it is you are fighting giant insects. The Earth is like overrun by like hundreds of massive ants.
I know that game.
Yeah,
That game, did we play? I didn't play that with you.
I don't think so.
That game was so bad.
Yeah, but it's super fun. Like it's such a fun idea. Like
I can't. That game.
yeah,
It was so funny.
and see that's another. That's why I thought this game was poorly received because it's like. It like plays kind of bad, but it's fun anyway, and like it looks kind of bad. Like everything about it is just sort of janky, sort of low budget. But what I was just looking at, like I looked it up while you guys were talking because I didn't know if this game was like considered good or not. But let me pull the IGN scores and stuff back
It's
up.
got to be bad.
Amazon.com, 4 out of 5 stars.
What?
GameStop, 8.6 out of 10.
Okay, what is the game called? I'm gonna look it up and make sure it's the right game.
But here, Metacritic did give it a 3.5 out of 5, but that is still a positive score.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I thought people hated this game, but apparently,
This is not the
Uh-oh.
game I saw
oh,
at
okay.
all.
This game does
I
play
see it.
poorly.
This looks way better than what I saw. I've played a game that is the same idea, and it's
Check it out, Dave.
horrible.
You just like that. You just like fight hordes of massive monsters in your small.
It sort of looks like Battlefield
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah.
Oh man, look
Battle,
at this photo.
more like Battlefront. Is that
Oh
what you
yeah,
mean?
sorry, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Another game I used to like that is critically panned is Battlefront 2. That's
I
a
thought that
joke.
game was-
No,
okay.
that's a joke.
I'm sorry.
Battlefront.
I never played Battlefront 2, so like I don't really get like the huge hype around that game.
No. I mean that game's like for most people that's like a 10 out of 10 game.
Mm-hmm.
That game is so good. I mean I loved it. Actually I played Battlefront 1 a lot more.
What about Star Wars Battlefront?
Yeah.
Okay.
But me and friends played Battlefront 2 a lot more because we would both be Jedi and we would just fight hordes of non-Jedi.
I finally found a game that I like. Okay, a 5.9 on IGN is pretty bad.
It's definitely not good for sure.
Toy Story 2 for the Nintendo 64.
Wow, really? That got a 5.9?
Yeah, that game was good.
I know you.
I thought that game was good.
That game was not horrible. I
No.
can't remember exactly
I mean,
how good
I
it
think
was,
I think
but
part of like, that game was the atmosphere. That game
Yeah.
was creepy because
Yeah.
there's
Really?
no one there. There's just no one
Oh,
around,
yeah.
and I feel like it just offered like a really weird perspective on like the Toy,
Toy Story
Story
universe.
where it's like, and also Buzz is pretty much by himself. Also,
You like walk through the toy store and stuff, right?
I didn't finish it. It was kind of hard,
Yeah.
but I remember like I mean I have very fond memories of like the first level being the house. You fight that guy in the attic, and then like the mission I couldn't get past though was like really early on in the game. You have to like it's raining outside. You need to jump on these like what's it called? Like those things that like those like rain covers like in front of restaurants and buildings.
I remember this.
Awning, like an awning.
Yeah, and you just keep on slipping off. I couldn't- but anyway, I thought that game was good. I remember thinking it looked and played really well
yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
pretty much every N64 game, barring very, very few, are pretty creepy, I'd say.
I mean, this game just like felt
I
weird.
Do you guys like Prince of Persia
I like
for the
the
Super
I like,
Nintendo?
I actually
whoa.
never played it.
There was a Super Nintendo Prince of Persia?
I played. I mean, I never had a Super
That's the
Nintendo.
definitive.
I
haven't
did
played
like
it.
the Sands of Time.
What
I thought that was
game?
pretty good.
What other game is like an important Prince of Persia?
Sands of Time is the
And
Is
the-
that like PlayStation?
It's
Or?
Xbox.
PS2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
PS2.
that's
Xbox.
not
But-
the
but
one
That
I'm
game was
talking
really good.
about.
That was the first game to have
The-
like a rewind mechanic. I can
Yeah,
think
the
of.
only two Prince of Persia games I ever hear talked about are Sands of Time and then the NES one.
Yeah.
I think Super Nintendo was a port of the NES one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
I
I
mean,
played a version of that on my phone.
I
Yeah.
played a version on the Game Boy as well. It was the same as the Super Nintendo.
I
version.
mean-
Oh, wait. Okay, so is there a screen, it's very close to the beginning, where you go to the left and you immediately get stabbed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's as far as I got on that game.
Oh, that game's pretty cool.
It's hard. I've seen
It's
like,
really
a
hard.
making of that game where they like filmed a guy doing all those movements
Oh,
and
wow.
then like tried to model it out.
I
but
mean, the
like, a lot.
animations in that game look better than a lot of games at that time.
Yeah, I mean like it doesn't necessarily like control very tightly.
But it looks like pretty fluid. And
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It looks human the way he runs around.
Man, I wonder. That is definitely a style of retro games that have not been ported over to like modern hardware. Like you get stuff like Super Meat Boy or Shovel Knight, where like it's just this is being really really reductive, but like a different Mario or a different Mega Man essentially, just like on modern hardware.
A very like technical platformer, basically.
Yeah, but you don't get like.
I mean, Prince of Persia was
That kind of
was a
platformer.
slow. hard
Yeah,
platform.
very
Yeah.
very slow.
Man, I would be very interested in playing a
And, like,
modern version of something like that.
The way the combat works in that, it's like you're never doing combat except for like every 5 minutes you finally run into someone, then you pull out your sword
and it's
fight.
really easy to kill them. I mean,
It's not that easy.
I mean, I feel
but
like-
I
I
remember
thought-
dying all the time by the other guys.
really, I just remember like maybe I'm wrong.
it's
but
actually just like
I remember just dying from like spikes and
yeah.
traps a lot more often than by people.
I'm sure I don't think I ever understood the mechanics in that game very well, because I would just see that guy who was like immediately to the left or whatever, and he would just. The thing was like you're pretty out of control of your character, so like you can't just immediately turn around and run away. I
Yeah.
just felt like I don't know, maybe that was just the way of the game telling me. I seriously have played that game for like 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
But maybe that was just the game telling me like don't go that way at first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's exactly true. You have to like go over to the right and then like fall down where it looks like you would probably die if you fell down, but you like grab onto something
Yeah.
and move over it as opposed to going and fighting that
Yeah.
guy.
Man, I'll tell you, I bet that game looks amazing over those SCART cables I've been looking at.
SCART.
Man,
Over the past couple days, Dave has been looking at videos on this thing called SCART mod. Tell him about SCART mod.
So there's this little box you can buy for retro. It's for retro games specifically.
What is the port that is on there for originally?
Say that one more time.
It uses a port that's on the Super Nintendo on the bottom, right?
Oh no, so I looked it up. It's not that
Oh,
because
okay.
what I was confused about was the SCART cable is huge on the other side, right? And there's just not a port that big on. Okay, I'm gonna need to back up before I use this term, but
Yeah.
um,
All right, let's start from the beginning of the
Yeah.
SCART thing.
so old systems, as I think like a lot of people know, like we're talking NES, or actually like we're talking NES up to PS2, really. Um, the cable that you would get to hook up to your TV, at least in like North America, are composite cables. And composite cables like are notoriously horrible for video quality. Like because all the video information is traveling through one wire.
Wait, so composite same component.
Component
No,
is
component
where it's
is
split
way
up into
better.
RGB.
Oh wait, what was composite?
Composite
Yellow.
is
The yellow
yellow, which is the video, and then white and red, which are both
Oh,
audio.
I always thought that was called
Yeah,
component.
component is like what the Xbox came with, where it's red, green, blue, and then
Yeah.
And then
red
audio?
and white. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that is a way higher quality
Okay.
cable.
I mean that's actually HD capable.
Yeah.
The other one isn't HD; it's standard def.
Okay.
But yeah,
But what's amazing is not all of the systems like NES you need to get this modded for, but like a lot of those systems can use a cable called RGB, which like it's similar to
I mean that's what component is.
yeah,
but
it's similar to
RGB.
component, but it's in one cable.
Okay.
And the way you get that signal is like for SNES you would just need to buy a cable called SCART, which has a huge 20-pin connector. So it has the same connector going into the SNES, and then on the other side, where like normally you'd find the composite side, the composite cables, there's just one 20-pin connector that carries all the video and audio. And then there is a machine called the Frame Meister. I'll repeat that one more time. The Frame Meister. It's
Sounds powerful.
it's a Japanese product that's like $400-ish. And what it is it's an external upscaler for older systems, because the upscalers in HD TVs are horrible for this sort of video, or like for that sort of video quality. So what you do is from your old systems you do that into SCART, and then you use a SCART to RGB converter into a FrameMeister, and then it's just HDMI out into your TV. That sounds like there's not that many components. There's essentially 3 components that you would have to buy, including an HDMI cable. But I'm telling you, like, listeners, you should really look this up, because it makes retro games look incredible. I can't believe how good those games can actually look. Like, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the old art style, and like it's a big reason why like I have a CRT in my room, just so the games can look at least somewhat decent. But like these games through the FrameMeister via SCART on an HD TV look amazing. I mean, a good reference is like any old game, even on NES, like NES or Super NES especially, anything with pixel art will look as good as modern pixel art games like Shovel Knight. Like, they look so sharp. I can't believe how much better they look. But not only that, but it will the difference that it will make to like GameCube and like N64 and PS1 and PS2 and Xbox and everything. The difference it will make to those is still like it still makes them a lot better, but the difference isn't as huge, especially for N64.
Well, and doesn't PS2 have S-Video, and is that better enough?
S-Video is definitely better than composite, but this SCART is like there was There's a video I watched. It's by, if you look up the channel, My Life in Gaming, they do a great video on this Framemeister thing. And they do a comparison between, like, just right next to each other of composite, S-Video, and SCART, or RGB. And S-Video is definitely better. But SCART is like... I mean, I think the difference between composite and S-Video is way less noticeable than even S-Video to SCART. Like, S-Video to SCART is amazing. I cannot believe how good these games look. And, you know, we're all moved out at this point. I don't have pretty much any expendable income. But as soon as I do, I am buying these one of these Framemeisters.
Would the SCART thing, a cable and a Framemeister be together?
So a SCART cable and a Framemeister would be like $420.
Oh, sweet.
Toke up.
Yeah. So, you know, you just have to
Games look
sacrifice
so
one smoke session to buy one, but I can't do that.
That is how much it is, right? Because the only time I, ever got that, they told me it was that much, and I just got it. I paid.
I mean, that's why it's $420, right?
That's what I
like.
assumed.
That's just the standard price. Period.
That's what you guys have heard too, right?
Yeah, for any amount, it's just across the board.
The finder's fee.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Man. Okay, but I can't
Start.
just look this up. Look up like SNES or NES on RGB,
Go
or
into
look up that
Google and
Framemeister
type
video.
in SCART.
Oh my gosh,
Start
it's
mod.
I cannot believe how good it looks. It seriously, it made me sad. Like, it hurt me when I was watching this video because I have played a lot of the retro games, or, like, played and beat a lot of the retro games I want to play and beat, and I was like, I wish
You should have played him on SCART.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, and it makes, I don't know, like, just how much better they look. I can't believe it. It's really something. And the other thing is, like, I feel like as like those older game developers, what didn't it pain them for like developing this amazing art and then seeing how I mean, it's amplified when people just plug in composite to an HD TV, like it will
That
look
looks
worse.
so bad.
But like even back then, they knew, or I would assume they knew, like the potential of how good that art can look, and it just doesn't look that good on, like, at least in North America, like on any TV that was available.
Did Japan have SCART ready TVs back in the day?
Yeah, they had RGB.
And so, do you think that's how people played it there, like the older games?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But like I know in Europe and Japan they had televisions that were like SCART or RGB compatible. I'm just not sure if like how readily available compared to, I'm not sure how much composite was used and everything. Like it's something I'd have to look up.
Yeah, dude. Look it up.
Yeah.
So I want to know. We'll tell you sometime, viewers.
Yeah. If we can remember next month.
Next month.
It's crazy how much I care about like visual fidelity in games. I really care. Or, like ours. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a huge.
Well, yeah.
Point of games
I
for
mean, I think it's how you experience the game. Like, it's
Yeah.
how your senses take the game in. So if they don't look good, it's just not like,
I'm
it's
interested.
less enjoyable.
I'm interested to see where how art style is gonna change in the next, like this generation. Because I feel like last generation, like okay, so I feel like obviously there's a huge difference between the PS2 era and like N64 era. And you
Yeah,
can tell, like,
huge.
Like 3D became
Good.
good.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like
Definitely.
you could actually play it. And then I think towards the end of that, especially on the Xbox, I remember like certain games started developing a new style, which I think was pretty shader heavy. I think games like Doom 3. Was Doom 3 that came out on Xbox?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I would even include
think-
games like
Other than,
cell shaded games. Like, I guess Borderlands was on next gen consoles.
well, there's a
but-
very specific style of visuals. When it was like, which I think started like Doom 3, carried over to the 360 generation with like Quake 4. I mean, okay, not the whole same company, but like
Still, though, yeah.
but like games like maybe Condemned, I think,
Uh huh.
or they're just like shiny looking. I think
Yeah.
Dave was talking about it's kind of wet looking.
Yeah. All Xbox games look just like I
Wet.
don't know, like the textures are sweating or something.
Yeah, and I feel like that I saw that carry over quite a bit to the beginning of the 360 generation, and then I think like around the time Gears of War came out, that was when that
Well,
kind of
that's the
style of
sweatiest
shading.
game.
I feel like that was when it started looking better,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
things started. Then I feel like games started looking too crazy when it came to like effects like motion blur, and like bloom and like this weird wet looking thing, like all these I don't know like, and it just got really. And I feel like with games now, like the games I think look the best. I feel like when it comes to just like traditional, like high quality 3D graphics, or games like The Last of Us or GTA 5. GTA 5 especially, which is such a plain looking game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like compared to like Call of Duty, Call of Duty has so much going on,
That's true.
and I feel like if that stuff's like if they can start doing more and more of that, at a certain point, it's not going to look very good. And there's a reason I think like the games that have impressed me recently are games like, oh my god, what's it called? That kind of like space exploration game that is going to come out for PS4. No Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah.
Games like that, which there is like
very strong art style.
very strong art style, but it is also technically good.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I mean, I think that's what like. I think what you're talking about, especially if you bring up the No Man's Sky, like, example, is since the dawn of time with video games, the thing that has mattered the most is art style. Like,
Yeah.
when you think of that's why like Nintendo developed N64 games still can get a pass, like because, well, they also just need a system, but like Nintendo has good art direction.
I mean, I think that like I am generally more impressed by Wii U games than PS4 games.
yeah, totally.
Because something with the art style, especially games like Super Mario 3D World and Mario Kart 8, like the textures look so good.
Yeah.
And the lighting looks so good.
Yeah.
And part of that is because it's all like really recognizable characters, so seeing them upgraded is really noticeable. But also like it's clean,
Yeah.
so you can really appreciate those kinds of things. And with those Wii U games, those run in 1080p.
Those, yeah, I was about to say those are also in a higher resolution than most Xbox games.
And
or
like
PS4.
They look so good.
I mean, just think of, I think, you know, the casebook example of this is look at Wind Waker. Like,
Yeah.
Wind Waker, when Wind Waker came out, people, like, did not like it because of its art style, and, like, they were like, oh, this is kiddie. Like, that game has, you know,
Stood the test
good,
of time.
yeah, good for, like, Nintendo to, like, just not really, I mean, Twilight Princess came out, but, like, Nintendo knew what they were doing, I think, and like Wind Waker, well, like does not age. Like,
No, it's always gonna look good.
yeah, that art style is, you know, it's timeless. Just like how, I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit more debatable.
And
but
Wind
I think,
Waker just did the cell shaded look so much better than any other game I can think
Yeah.
of.
yeah, definitely.
Like I don't think Borderlands
Yeah,
looks
I
very
was gonna
good.
say,
yeah, Borderlands looks like a
gross.
mess to me.
Also games from that era like 13 or something
Uh huh.
don't look good.
What about Auto Modelista?
What about a Killer 7?
Mm-hmm.
I think Beautiful Joe looks good.
Yeah, I
another-
think like No More Heroes looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Another game that looks really good because of its art style is the Katamari games. Those games are
Totally.
so cute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've got like textures are all so soft and the
Yeah.
characters are all so like simply designed.
And the game's
That,
just
like-
really bright too, so like things really,
I really
there's
like
a lot of
bright
contrast.
games.
Yeah.
They just I mean those games just like upscale well. Like I mean that's why Wind Waker HD looks so good is because like They just brightened it up. They put a little more color into it. You know, they just improved the things that the
Yeah.
GameCube
Yeah.
couldn't do,
I-
like with lighting and color.
And I think like yeah, art style definitely really matters, and like I mean, so much about it comes from the design of like character design and stuff. Like
Yeah.
because I feel like Half-Life 2.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the faces in that game look better than so many games. That game came out in 2004.
Totally.
There's no. It's insane that it looks so much better, and
Yeah.
like also the
Although-
animations look so much more like natural to me.
The game has been, I mean, the game has been upgraded. Like, you know, like, I mean, Source scales so well, and that game has been updated.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
So,
I'm
like-
basing it off of what I remember playing the game like
Yeah,
around
that's-
that time.
I mean, Half-Life, even if they updated it like as
They can't change it all,
you know,
yeah.
daily, they can't change the fact that it's a game from 2004, and it does look like
Yeah, I mean,
So it
it's
looks
so not.
fresh
Yeah, and it's not really not flashy looking at all. It's
No.
really plain,
yeah,
but like
it's aged very well.
When did Team Fortress come out?
2007. That game looks great too. I love that art
Yeah,
style.
I think
Yeah.
it looks pretty good.
I mean, that's why I chose. That's one of the main reasons that I originally chose to play Dota instead of League of Legends is because of the art style. Because I
Yeah,
thought the
totally.
League of Legends art style, I think, is like it's sort of. It just looks sort of like
Grimdark, is that what you were saying?
no, that game's not grimdark, but it's just like not very colorful. It's very colorful actually, but it's got a dark color palette and it's like sort of obscures what's going, like the spells and stuff kind of obscure what's going on. And then I just like, and I saw videos of that game and I was like, I can't tell what's going on. And then I saw like the clearness of like the Dota art style and said, I understand what's happening here. And then so I played that game.
yeah,
And then, you know, like, I mean, because with games, if you've never played them, a lot of times you only get gameplay videos. And like, you see two games that are like similar and both trying to take the audience from the other game. Like a lot of games do compete directly with each other. And for most people, it's either their friends play it or art style is what draws them to one or the other.
one thing I noticed a game that I think David and I played Little Big Planet the other day, and I was amazed at how good that game still looks. Like, and it's this thing where like it's not just the art style because that is a huge part of that game, but also with that art style, like they're able to do things that just like the whatever's technically good just stands out so much more. Like the depth of field things and like I don't know
Yeah.
the textures in general, the frame rate.
Man, Little Big Planet in a way has the most amount of potential. Like, aside from Spelunky, like in terms of platformers, Little Big Planet has a huge amount of potential. The one thing keeping it back is just like it's a little too floaty. Like
It's way too floaty.
yeah, it's like if it just controlled tighter, man.
Why don't they do
Man.
anything about it? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
feels
part of
bad.
part of what that game is supposed to feel like is floaty.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
really like
and I
the art
get
style of
that.
that game,
Yeah.
and the user created content, and everything is so funny and so like
Yeah, so Dave,
it's so
yeah.
cool. But like
And I mean, you could make like really good, high skill levels.
yeah, and
in
I
that game obviously.
I think the reason why you don't really see that in Seabass and I played like a lot of user created content, but
Some really weird levels.
yeah, but like none of them required skill. They were all just like showing off this like
One was my emo costumes.
yeah.
And you walked through the level, and this person had made emo costumes for Sackboy.
Yeah, and they were just
nice.
on like little models and pictures.
My favorite thing we saw was he had made a block, just a block that had an emo swoop haircut.
Yeah.
And
was there
then-
any Davey Havoc themed items?
I don't think so. I don't know any bands mentioned.
Oh man.
And then there was one level that was just called McDonald's, and you walk through a 2D McDonald's.
Oh, that sounds awesome. See,
And
that
then,
sounds really cool. Like,
There was
Christian Womack has an amazing McDonald's themed mod that he's done for Super Smash Bros.
what? What is this? What has he
Whoa.
made?
what? He made it?
I mean,
Tell us the details. Like, has he made a?
You might go.
I'm not gonna out Christian's mod,
Oh, okay.
but
It'll come out sometime.
yeah, he'll put it out sometime.
Cool.
We were talking about this a couple days ago, but I want to talk about it on the cast. I really like virtual recreations of mundane things.
Totally.
I mean, like the idea, the idea of Second Life is funny and fun to me. If it was in the real world, it's in some weird fake world where you can fly.
Yeah.
And you can hang out with horse people and stuff, and that's not cool. I don't care about that. But just the idea of like I was saying, like what exactly brought up was that I just suddenly got the idea in my head that it would be fun to play like a Skyrim style open world RPG, but the setting is just normal world, and your
So there's
character's
a McDonald's.
yeah, and your character has like a job. But it's not like GTA where like the stuff is crazy and your character's really important and like you can just kill everybody all the time. Just like a normal world where I guess you could kill people if you found a gun store and like bought a gun or stole a gun and shot people or something like that. But I just would I'd like a game that just tries to like put you in a normal world like that. And like gives you RPG missions that are very mundane. I mean, the game would obviously be like pretty tongue-in-cheek about it, probably. I assume if it was ever made, because that's the only way that anybody would want to play a game like that. But I just like the idea of like walking around virtual versions of real things and like trying to act like a normal person in a video game rather than
That's how
being
Dave
a hero.
played GTA 5. When he
exactly.
came over.
I mean, he played.
But you can just tell the game is not designed for that.
No.
Like I was trying to going and have conversations with people who people would be talking on the street and they would be talking about something and I would go up to them and just like stand in the circle and they would immediately like just go silent and then walk away from each other.
And then he walked into someone. They fell over. A cop
This was
came, and then I think he got shot.
Yeah.
I love a game where if you drive and you like hit somebody, you're like expected to get out and like give them your insurance information. Or like a cop will pull you over for driving too fast or something. Just like I don't know. I just like the idea because then you could like mess with the real world in a way that feels weightier than like in Skyrim because I mean my biggest problem with like I don't like Skyrim very much.
Yeah.
Because of how I mean it's a very like shallow game, but it has a lot of potential. But it's just the fact that like you walk into town, everybody goes, oh, you're the hero. They immediately know about you. But then if you talk to them, they're like, who are you? And then, you'll kill a dragon in the middle of town and the guards help you. But if like while you're killing the dragon, you like shoot a guard, they come and get you. Yeah. And that's just not fun. Like I want NPCs in games to like react like a normal person. Where like you're shooting the dragon and the guard gets shot by your arrow. And then you guys still kill the dragon, and maybe he comes up to you and gets mad.
Yeah,
because you shot him or something.
Some of that stuff I feel like is just that for that level of detail in games, you just need like a really, really large team or a really long time to just be able to possibly put in everything that everyone could do.
Yeah, that's the problem for sure.
I have 3 things to say about this. Or 3 different examples. Like, I think one thing we're getting at is just like when you have that sort of real world grounding or like intimacy, the priorities and what you value in the game completely change. Example number 1 is Persona 4.
Is Heavy Rain one of these examples?
No, it's not.
Because it is for me.
So, and like Persona 4, there are the fantastical elements, obviously, but like what made that game so special to me is
the high school simulator sections.
Seriously, like I was telling Josh, I was like almost conflicted playing this game because I was like, because there are things you do in the game that have no gameplay relevance, like just doing stuff with your friends, like, and that's so much of the game and just having these little conversations. And I was like, I seriously feel like I am friends with these people, like in a way that I haven't felt like in a game. It sounds totally
Have the way I haven't felt in my life.
yeah.
I'm like actually friends with people for once.
But like it makes it so special, and like it makes you like focusing on that in
You also had love.
it's true. But focusing on that in art, like, and valuing that way made it so like outside the game, the way I would pay attention to conversations actually changed. Because like I don't know, with the game, like the way it can focus like sort of those sort of themes, especially when it deals with like, smaller themes of like intimacy and stuff, it can actually make you think about stuff in conversations that you wouldn't normally think about. Example 2 is Gone Home. Very small, intimate story where you're just exploring this really weird place, but it showed you how all these mundane items have so much more significance. Example 3 is last week on the Idle Thumbs podcast, they talked about this game, New Game. It's not called New Game, I'm sorry. But I'm trying to remember, maybe I'll put it in the show notes if we're going to have those. But like, yeah, I'm not sure if I can remember it. But it's sort of like, it's not apocalyptic, like, it's not end of the world and it's not zombies, but it's just some sort of place that's not doing well, I guess. And, you still have to get resources and all this stuff. So you go and you have the option to like go into someone's house to like take resources. And in a normal game, the reaction would be, and this is like what really sold me on this game. I haven't bought it, but but it got me very interested. Like, you have the option, to go into someone's house and like take their stuff. And in a normal game that actually has repercussions for something like that, that just aggroes the people in the house and they're gonna try and kill you or something. In this game, the house that you go in has a family, and the dad pulls out a knife, like, sort of like it's an aggressive reaction. But in the experience they were talking about, he doesn't actually use it, which shows that like it is a more realistic portrayal of like, fear and like the actual reaction that someone might have towards like, it's definitely not easy to take someone's life. Like this dad was scared to do anything to you because you are in an aggressive state breaking into this person's house, but it just like humanized them in a different way where you don't really see normally in games. And more stuff like that where like, I don't know. I guess a lot of this is just like, I'm calling for humanizing NPCs.
I'm calling for better games. Games to be made better with better technology.
I remember there was that game that I can't tell if it was a Last of Us clone that ended up coming out before or if it was just a very similar
I remember
game.
that.
The game I Am Alive, which was an Xbox Live Arcade game set
Was that
in
supposed to be a
post-
full release game, or that it wasn't?
I don't know.
I don't think
It was
so.
set in a post-apocalyptic situation, and you were running around. I don't know if there was actually zombies in that game. I kind of feel like there wasn't, and it was just humans fighting over supplies and stuff. But anyways, there's like a big selling point, which was that whenever you have an encounter with a human, you only have like 3 bullets most of the time, and so you kind of like play this little game of like either trying to intimidate each other like with your gun, or even if you don't have any bullets, you can still pull out your gun and point it at them and try to get them to just back off and not actually kill you. Like,
Yeah.
just that weird thing. Also, I was just gonna say that Heavy Rain, like, the reason that game is so fun is just because you feel like you're actually a person in the world, and like That's the only reason why getting pizza for your son and
Yeah, totally.
your son asking you if he can stay up later. And all
I really
of
want
that
to play
is
Heavy
really
Rain.
Funny.
Because I know, Josh, you like it a lot.
we-
Dave, you don't seem to like that game, right?
You just need to play it with a crowd because it's very funny.
Yeah, I mean, I can really appreciate a lot of the game, but especially towards the end, the last fourth of that game really, really sour. And there is just one story arc that, like, I mean, in a crowd it would be funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like when who's Jason's dad? What's his character?
Ethan? No.
Yeah, his name's
Yeah,
Ethan.
Okay.
So I like his gameplay sections the most because, like, I like, that sort of, more mundane aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about his character model or something where he looks like he
Yeah.
doesn't have a soul.
Yeah, that guy's fucked up looking.
And then, like, but the guy I really don't like,
The agent? The secret
yeah, the agent, I don't understand
The
what.
futuristic agent.
I don't
Agent
understand-
Keanu Reeves, huh?
I don't understand why he's even in the game, mostly. Like,
In that Vice article, that was one of the things they were talking about with drugs in games because that guy has like his little drug addiction problem.
yeah.
And they were saying that
Which
was
goes
one
nowhere,
of
by the way.
most. They were saying that was an accurate representation or like one of the most serious like attempts to represent drugs in games, but they were also saying it was part of the problem because it was increasing everybody's fear about drugs. And that you can get addicted to them and stuff.
Like, I don't know. But
Jeez.
that drug was not good for that guy. Like,
His Tripto, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like
He-
he kind of tripped him out, you know?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he would bleed when he would use it, right? Like,
I mean, I thought he
I
would
mean,
bleed
a
when
little
he wouldn't
bleeding.
use
A
it.
little bleeding doesn't hurt. Nobody.
oh, was that it?
Yeah, like he would freak out. Like, I mean, when he wouldn't use it, he would like shake and go, like almost throw up, and then he would be like, oh, God. And then he would just use it and he'd be fine.
You had two choices every time. You could either splash yourself in the face with water in the sink, which would also end it, or just take the drug and then you're fine.
Man, it seemed pretty easy to kick if you just like need to, just need a little spritz every time you.
You
are
should just
getting
carry around a
hankering.
spray bottle
Need a fix or some water.
or a spritz.
Yeah, he's just really thirsty. The drug is actually just like really dense water, and he's just really thirsty every
I'm
time.
so dehydrated. That's what it is. He's shaking and bleeding. He's not getting enough
God.
water.
And then he like drinks the water.
He's like, oh my god.
Feels good. Yeah, that game, I appreciated the group setting in that game, just because I mostly appreciated not being the one playing it because like the option would be like give Ethan make Ethan dinner or give him pizza, and they would be thinking about maybe giving him the vegetables or whatever, and everyone's just like give him the pizza, give him the pizza, and then you do.
Does this change anything in the game?
No, I don't think so.
His son gets a little more unhealthy.
But that's not the point. It's to make you think. There's a weight behind a mundane choice like that. Like,
Well, that's
it
why
means
all the
something.
bad stuff happens in the whole rest of the game. He gets
You give him the-
diabetes,
you give him the pizza.
childhood diabetes, and you spend the rest of the game kind of taking care of him and doing the kinds of things
Because of
that
his
you have
pizza.
to do. One pizza.
I mean, I tried to just I try to let the kid do what he wants.
That's the kind of parent you are.
That's the kind of parent I am, But man, the scene where the funniest scene in that whole game is definitely when you're hanging out with Ethan. It's just you're hanging out with Jason. Your wife left you. You're kind of down in the dumps. You open up the fridge to feed Jason, but first you drink a beer. and like we make all the wrong choices, and then Jason, it's like 8:00. Jason goes like, you're like, you gotta go to bed, Jason. Oh, Dad, can I stay up? And
Just
you say,
a little longer.
and you say, all right. And then you turn the TV back on after you've just turned it off.
And then you go and sit in front of your son while he's watching the TV, and you stare into his face while he's watching TV, and you just sit there,
I just really
and he
like.
keeps watching TV.
I really liked when because there was like. There was the couch, and then there was a chair in the corner of the room away from him. And so we would tell him he could stay up, and then we would go sit in the chair in the corner of the room.
You look at your son
Yeah.
on the couch, and you just sit there watching.
And then we would wait until
God.
until the game let us know that we should probably put Jason to bed again. Then we'd get back up,
Gotta
turn the
wait till
TV
morning.
off, and say, "All right, Jason, it's time to go to bed now." He would say the same thing, and then Jason would say, "Can I stay up?" And we go, "All right." And then turn the TV back on. Go sit back in the chair in the corner.
Oh my god!
And then
With his creepy,
We-
soulless eyes.
yeah, and then the
Yeah.
next time we do it again, but instead of sitting
This
in
is
the
just
corner,
a dad who's completely lost control of his son.
and then the last time, instead of sitting in the corner, we sit right in front of his face and wait for him to just fall asleep on the couch.
Oh my god.
And then I remember we tried to just wait it out, but time didn't pass anymore. We had to put Jason to bed after he fell asleep on the couch.
What?
Guys, your cookies
No,
are
it's
almost
not
done.
350.
I was like,
Are we at full capacity? Are we at 60?
What?
I need to go to bed.
I freaked out.
Yeah,
I thought it
or-
was 4 in the morning.
Yeah, we're at an hour and 15. Real quick, I want to say that game I was talking about is called This War of Mine.
Oh, okay.
It just came out this month, like 10 days ago.
All right, everybody. Real quick, before we leave, I'd like to give out my friend code so you guys can play Pokemon with me over the air. Hey, hold on, Street Pass notifications. I gotta look some
While
up.
Keenan's
Leave your
looking this
friend
up-
code in the comments.
While Keenan's looking this up, I just want to give you guys my Friendster account. It is Switchblade Heart
69er.
29X, and you can follow my blog there.
I don't really get the joke.
I think we're gonna stop using Tumblr. I think it's a little bit.
SJWE.
I'm gonna give you guys my AIM account.
Ooh.
It's fun
Wait,
in the sun. Number 1.
real quick,
Mine's Fun Guy
21.
Fungi.
real quick, what was everyone's aim account?
Can't remember.
I think-
Probably a name I used to use on internet accounts was Drummer27.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one.
Mine was like Seb.
Even
Seb.
used Drummer Boy once.
Little drummer boy?
Just Drummer Boy.
I think, I don't know. I think mine might have been Metallica or Black Sabbath related back in the day, or
How
also
related?
just like
Let's get a little more
saying
specific.
the band name in
Oh.
the thing. Or
Yeah, I think Andy's email used to be like Zeppelin76.
yeah, something like that. 76. Was that a
I'll
good?
mail
That was
.com.
not a good year for them. I think that was way past their prime at that point.
My email and AIM ID was MetroidMan333.
Not bad. That sounds cool. All right,
You also
everybody.
had spazziness.
I did
Let's-
have
let's-
that. And that is still my that is still my PlayStation ID. Shuhei Yoshida. Please let us change our IDs. I can't take it any longer.
I like spazziness.
I feel like I am being
don't mind.
punished
that or
every time I
David.
sign in.
I like them all. Mine's since my brother's friend called me this like early high school. I've been going by Keenbo exclusively.
I have the
like
worst
Boner
expo.
Boner Mancer is my secret name. No, actually, it's when I want to
Secret name.
when I want to upset people on my and the opposing team when I play competitive games. I go by the Boner Mancer. Or it's also my main WoW character's name,
Yeah.
who is a orc warlock. Which I chose Bonermancer for him because I was like, he's kind of like a necromancer, you know. And then I walk up to people and say, "I will bone you." That's what I say. But I only type it out. But I say that like that in my head.
Yeah, you say it like a WoW or like a Warcraft character.
Yeah,
I think I have the worst gamer tag. It's
What is it?
horrible.
Isn't
I
that
was like
just-
12. It's Seabass, all caps, then lowercase TIEN. So
That's not bad.
Sebastian.
That's pretty good.
Not
That's
bad
pretty
I
at
mean,
all.
bad.
I think
Why is
the
that
best
bad?
the best gamer tags
I
include
know.
your
Man.
real name, like
It's
in a.
not as bad as anyone else.
Yeah.
Drummer 27 seems okay.
That's
Spazziness.
totally.
Spazziness is so much better.
Oh
No,
my
I-
God.
What is
Metroid.
wrong with spazziness?
Spazziness is embarrassing.
That is a lol so random
yeah.
thing.
Anytime
Okay.
you can include your real name in a clever way in a gamer tag is good. That's why I like
Yeah.
to use
That's why
Keenbo because it's close to
Sebastian
my
is
name.
fine.
Jacob's, his PS3 ID or whatever is Special Explosion, so that was really funny. I saw it.
That's pretty good.
We have a lot of hours in Call of Duty Modern Warfare
And
2.
Ace Combat 4.
Yeah, and Need for Speed Rivals.
All right, everybody, here it is. My 3DS friend code. 3969 4661 3712. So add me up, post yours in the comments so I can think
Steal your
about so I
ID.
can think about adding you. Because if you guys all add me, then I can sort of cherry pick who's coming at me. And we'll play some Pokemon. Give me your shinies. That's all I want. Give me your shinies.
Yeah, if you want to be friends with Keenan, you have to give him a shiny.
You have to give me one shiny and plus sweets.
Mail him sweets.
P.O.
Yeah.
Box. Garbage House.
All right.
We can't cut that out. That's
This is-
impossible.
This is
cut
going to
out.
print.
Just bleep him when he says that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week. Bye.